Massive clash in West Bengal, a gunfight between supporters of the BJP and the Trinamool. The BJP in West Bengal is now seeking a CBI probe into the violent clashes that took place in Birbhum. 3 people have been killed after supporters of both parties fought a pitched gun battle in the Makra village. And now a war of words has erupted over the incident, with the BJP blaming the Trinamool for orchestrating the attack.
Birbhum remains tense after 3 people were killed in clashes between TMC and BJP supporters. Marka village had turned into a virtual battlefield on Monday as the 2 sides attacked each other with guns and bombs. This just days after a police station in charge was attacked with bombs, while the police conducted an operation to recover crude bombs in the area. After the violent battle, a political war of words has now ensued, with the BJP accusing the TMC of attacking its workers to wrest control from it in the area.
দুটোই বিজেপির গ্রাম, আর সেই গ্রাম আক্রমণ হয়েছে। তাহলে আক্রমণ বিজেপি করতে পারে নিজের গ্রাম নিজে? ওখানে তো তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের চিহ্ন পর্যন্ত নেই।
A central team of BJP is all set to visit the district on 30th October about the violence to the leadership. Out of the 3 people who died, 1 is said to be a BJP supporter, 1 a TMC supporter. The identity of the 3rd person is not known. The Bengal BJP unit took out a silent march protesting the clash. The party will also be filing a petition before the High Court seeking a CBI probe into the incident. With Indrajit Kundu, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Violent clashes are not new to West Bengal, but these clashes were earlier between the left supporters on the one side and Trinamool and Congress supporters on the other. The left and the Congress are now being edged out. It's the Trinamool versus the BJP on the ground in a place like Birbhum, which used to be a left bastion in years gone by. Is the Mamata Banerjee government threatened by the sudden and fast rise of the BJP in West Bengal, and can the BJP before the 2017 elections emerge as the real opponent for the Trinamool government in West Bengal? And is the left government going slow, not supporting the terror probe so that it doesn't end up looking bad in the eyes of its vote bank? Those are the questions we're focusing on center stage this evening, and I want to introduce first R.K. Singh, Member of Parliament of the Lok Sabha, former Home Secretary of India. Also with us, Jayanto Ghoshal, one of the leading political journalists out of West Bengal. And we've got Sugato Roy, Senior Leader of the Trinamool Congress. I want to go across first and foremost to Sugato Roy because, Dada, we're seeing in West Bengal the left now being edged out, the Congress nowhere in the picture, the BJP suddenly out of nowhere emerging as a threat to the Trinamool. Is that the reason why we're seeing these violent clashes between the left and between the Trinamool and the BJP supporters, which earlier used to happen between Trinamool and the left, sir?
BJP is nowhere near Trinamool. They got 17% in Lok Sabha elections as compared to Trinamool Congress's 39%. They have got only 1 MLA in a house of 294. So BJP is not really a challenger. What has happened in Birbhum is unfortunate because any death is unfortunate. But I must tell you that the violence in Birbhum, the incident that was entirely started by the BJP. It's unfortunate that 2-3 people have died. This shouldn't have happened. But I do not think that this is an indication, any indication of future
Mr. R.K. Singh, what we saw on the ground in Birbhum is essentially the police try and get into Makra village. The BJP supporters on the ground feel that the police was being misused by the Trinamool administration, and they took on not just the Trinamool supporters but also the police. Now, in a bid to establish yourself on the ground in West Bengal, the BJP seems to be resorting to the same violent tactics that the left used to use earlier against the Trinamool and vice versa, sir.
No, actually, the BJP does not have a history of Gundaism and violence. If you look at the history on the ground in West Bengal, it was the left, and now it's the Trinamool Congress, which has the goons and the gundas on its side. And basically, yes, this is a symptom of what is happening on the ground. What is happening on the ground is that the electorate is getting rapidly disenchanted with the Trinamool Congress, and the Trinamool is seeing the ground slipping away from under its feet. Now that is what is happening on the ground.
Sir, we've seen the government suggest that the Trinamool government moved slowly in the arrest of the main accused in the Birbhum attacks. And if the state government had moved fast enough, then maybe the main culprit could have been nabbed before this entire thing exploded. Do you think there is adequate substance? Because the Trinamool feels that the BJP is trying to politicize this, trying to paint the Trinamool as being soft on terror. They're saying we're cooperating to the extent that we can. Where is the evidence, in your view, to demonstrate that the Mamata Banerjee government is actually going soft on terrorists?
No, look at the facts. The facts are these, that when the case was first lodged after the explosions, all the sections pertaining to terrorism were left out by the police. Now, that is an indicator of how soft the police was. Now, this is a result of years of indulgence towards a particular vote bank. This is what has seeped down to the police. If you have a party or a government which has been indulgent to a particular vote bank or a particular section, this is what has seeped down, and this has resulted in this sort of reaction by the police. Then, as you yourself pointed out, that the main culprit, I think Suhail, his name was, he just slipped away. I mean, because of the delay. Then after the search, 39 bombs were recovered from that place after we took over the case. And this is, mind you, this is national security we are talking about. This is a foreign terrorist organization we are talking about. And this is not something which grew up overnight. This has been there for the past 3-4 years, and they have spread their tentacles. They have contacts over a number of districts. It's a matter of grave worry. We are not playing politics here. We are only looking at, we are only talking about national
That's
security.
a very serious charge the BJP is leveling, and Sugata Roy, you must respond to this, because in a sense the BJP is saying that you let the main accused of the Birbhum blasts get away. That's allegation number one. Allegation number two, 39 bombs were recovered after the NIA got involved, which essentially the state police should have been able to recover themselves. Why is your state police, Dr. Roy, going so soft and so easy on these terrorists? The charge is that you're being soft towards, you're being indulgent towards your vote bank, sir. That is
a very wrong accusation. Yesterday also, after the NSA met our Chief Minister has told the NSA in no uncertain terms that we are not going to let terrorists gain 1 inch in West Bengal. There have been explosions all over the country. Why didn't you indict the state government then? The Indian Mujahideen originated from Karnataka. They triggered explosions in Hyderabad, in Delhi, in Chennai, in Pune, in the German bakery.
Sir, because the state government was not indicted because the state government didn't go slow. They may have been inept, they may have been incompetent, but they didn't deliberately go slow on the investigation.
BJP is trying to politicize the issue because those people involved in the explosion were Muslims. We say that terrorists are terrorists, whatever their religion may be, and the state.
Why then, sir, were 39 bombs recovered after the NIA got involved? Why did the Bengal police not find these bombs?
How many bombs have the central agencies recovered in the rest of the country before explosion? In West Bengal, the explosion happened and the perpetrators were killed. In other places, innocent people were killed. Where did the central agencies recover bombs before explosion?
So what about your response to the other charge about letting the main accused get away? The fact that the central agencies had pointed out where he was, the state police moved slowly, which is why the Birbhum blast happened in the first place.
That is their perception, but that is not correct. We did not let anybody get away. After the explosion happened, you have to remember, It was the time of Durga Puja and Eid, and police had other jobs. They immediately arrested the widows of the two people killed in the explosion. And in the Delhi, somebody may have got away for a few days, but now he has been arrested.
So is it your
there is
case
no question
that
of
the
going
BJP
this
is
a
using...
wrong indictment, politicized indictment.
Dr. Roy, is it your case that the BJP is using, say, the National Security Advisor to score political points against the Trinamool government?
No. The BJP central government has decided to send this high-powered team to show that they are very serious in fighting anti-national activities. Would they send similar high-powered teams if riots take place? The BJP government was at the center. Did they send troops to Ahmedabad, high-powered agencies to Ahmedabad when the Gujarat riots were taking place? These are all bogus accusations, politicized. We must state altogether, instead of that we are against terrorists. Terrorists will be severely dealt with. Instead of making this single statement, you're trying to do finger pointing and fault finding.
Okay, I want to get R.K. Singh to respond to that. The Trinamool responded by saying it's the BJP that is politicizing terror. You never catch either the culprits or explosives beforehand in other cases also. So why pinpoint only the West Bengal government? This is because people, the accused, come from a particular community, and it's the BJP that's trying to play politics with this, sir.
Absolutely.
No, look. You see, in this case, again, our esteemed colleague on the channel, he is saying that the police had other duties like Durga Puja duties, etc. There can be no other duty which is more important than national security. And to say that the police would neglect national security, would neglect catching or going after terrorists because to engage in bandobast duties, that I think is totally unacceptable. Let me finish.
Nobody neglected
Number one. Number two. Number one. The main accused disappeared. Number two, this is not something which happened at once. As I said, the roots have spread far and wide, and they have even gone to Assam. 6 people have been arrested from Assam. A number of districts, these people have built up contacts in a number of districts. And this is a Bangladesh terrorist organization, mind you. Another thing which I think needs to be answered, which has not been answered actually, is that these people were actually said to be TMC workers, the terrorists. Is that so? That has been denied off and on. But
Mr. R.K. Singh, when you say that, there is no evidence. Now here on a national channel, you as a former Home Secretary, now MP, is saying something which you don't fully know whether it's true or not, sir. You don't know whether they were Trinamool workers or not.
But posters, no proof.
I know, but posters were found there. The posters of the TMC were found.
Shubhoto Rai wants to respond to you before I bring Jayanto Ghoshal in. Dr. Roy.
At the site. Then another thing, the case was not handed over to the NIA. We took over the case. So basically what we are saying is this. What we are saying is this, that if you persist in a policy of ignoring various activities just because of vote bank politics, that we believe is not in the interest of the country.
Okay, we've heard from the two politicians. I want to hear now from the political expert. Jayanto Ghoshal, is it correct to suggest that the BJP is rising and rising fast in West Bengal? And to some extent, is that impacting the response of the West Bengal government to what is otherwise a very clear-cut case of only law and order and not politics?
Rahul, number one, I don't want to discuss the electoral prospect of BJP because, BJP is a non-base area of BJP. West Bengal is a non-base area. Only one MLA just few days back they got. But one thing is very clear, that when political clashes take place between two political parties, it's a competition for the political space. When CPM was a ruling party and Trinamool was opposition, that when clashes used to take place, we used to interpret that where the strength of TMC is there, clashes take place. Otherwise, it could be a one-side violence. when the political party, when they can combat the ruling party or the other political parties, that means they have acquired strength. You know, when inside the left front also, the forward bloc CPM clashes used to take place, where the forward bloc strength is there, like Uluberia. SUCI CPM conflict used to take place in the Joynagar Kultali area, where the SUCI had strength.
So are you then saying that because the BJP is clashing with the Trinamool supporters on the ground, that is indication of the fact that the BJP is gaining in strength and the Congress and the CPM are being edged out on the ground, on the bloody electoral field of West Bengal?
Exactly. And you know, even the Muslim community, the section of the Muslim community joined BJP, and for their own protection in the political clashes that happened in West Bengal. It's a very unusual thing.
No, but Jayanto, okay, you've established what is understood, but I want to come to the next question.
And I remember,
is the fact that the BJP is expanding its base impacting the response of the West Bengal State Department, impacting the response of the police force? Is there a sense that you feel that the police is being told to go soft because the West Bengal government doesn't want to antagonize its vote bank?
No, the Muslim vote bank in West Bengal is near about 30%. Trinamool Congress main constituency, one of the main constituency is Muslim vote bank. It is very difficult for BJP to get Muslim vote bank. They can get the secular, liberal Hindu vote bank going in favor of campaign in favor of Muslim, but they cannot get Muslim vote. That is a perception. So for the consolidation of the Muslim vote, that as usual the other political parties like Samajwadi Party in West Bengal, Trinamool Congress also, they have to soften their position on the Muslim community. But the one thing what Sogatora is saying, that is correct, that terrorism is terrorism, nothing with Muslim community, but the general perception is that always Trinamool Congress is always they have softened their position to Muslim community, because it happened in other states also and in West Bengal also. Trinamool Congress could not take the strong measurement against the militancy, and National Investigating Agency, they took action. That is crystal clear.
This is very unfortunate. The fact that the state government is going soft on terror because it is concerned that its vote bank will get impacted. That is indeed quite a disservice to India's war against terror. Political battles need to be fought electorally. National security is paramount, and that cannot be compromised. With Subrata Roy, R.K. Singh and Jayanto Ghoshal for joining us on the first part of Centre Stage tonight. Thank you very much. Let's move on to other quick story tonight. Big story. Amidst the Delhi deadlock, there is high drama. The Supreme Court today pulled up both the centre as well as the Delhi Lieutenant Governor for the delay in expediting the process to form a new government in the capital. The ball is now in Najib Jung's court to invite the BJP to stake claim and prove it has the numbers. Interestingly, the BJP is keeping its cards close to its chest. Jaskirat Singh Baba and Ashish Maharishi with this story.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिस तरीके से चुनाव से बचने की कोशिश कर रही है, जब उनके पास नंबर नहीं है तो इस तरीके की बातें करना इज सिंपली अ मॉकरी ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी।
साहिब जाहिर है ये बड़े दुख की बात है कि लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर महोदय उपराज्यपाल जी वो संविधान की रक्षा करने की बजाय, संविधान के हिसाब से चलने की बजाय एक पार्टी के इशारों के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं।
हमारा स्टैंड जो 3 महीने पहले था वही आज भी है। हमारे स्टैंड में कोई चेंज नहीं है, वही स्टैंड हमारा आज भी है। हमारे पास स्थिति आएगी, हम उसका आकलन करेंगे, समय आने पर उसका जवाब आपको जरूर देंगे।
But can BJP cobble up the numbers? BJP has 28 MLAs and assured support from one Akali MLA. Aam Aadmi Party stands at 27 and Congress at 8. JDU has 1 and there are 2 others. By all calculations, BJP will fall short of the magic figure by 2 MLAs. Come Thursday, Supreme Court will hear final arguments from Centre, BJP and Congress. But will it dissolve the House? Will the Lieutenant Governor invite BJP in the meantime? And will BJP bite the Delhi bullet? For now, the suspense continues over Delhi's fate. With Jaskirat Singh Bawa and Ashish Maharishi in New Delhi, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
We're heading into a quick break. When we come back in 10 minutes flat, we'll get you a wrap of all the news that you need to know that's happened all through the day today. Stay with us. We're back on the other side.